Welcome, everybody. This is Robert Weichelt, home boss, trainer, coach, mentor here at EXP. We have an amazing platform that I'm going to share with you today. It's the Home Boss Online Offers platform. It's the best way, I repeat, it's the best way to work with FSBOs, expireds, canceleds, probate, divorce, heck, anybody in your phone, anyone in your database. You can reach out to them and you introduce this platform to them. You will not lose a listing. So I'm going to share with you my listing presentation. I've added a couple of slides for presentation purposes, but nonetheless, this is my listing presentation that I meet with every one of my sellers. Typically, I do a Zoom call with the seller, and then I'll send them the contract once they've seen the presentation and fall in love with it. And then we'll get started on it. It's a 14-day process, literally from the time we take the listing to the time we put that property in escrow, and then whatever time frame the buyers have put in their offer that the sellers accept, whether it be 25, 30, 40 days, whatever. So let's get started. I appreciate you guys being on. So let's go through this presentation. Now, before I get started, I'm a big baseball fan, and Yogi Berra said it the best. The future ain't what it used to be. Think about that for a second. Some of you may get this a little later when you're driving out to happy hour. The future ain't what it used to be. I can tell you this, the real estate market in particular is always changing. Another thing I like to bring up is my other friend over there at the Yankees is Reggie Jackson. Reggie Jackson is known as being Mr. October, home run hitter. But what people don't realize or don't know is he has the most strikeouts in Major League history, but he's known for Mr. October for hitting home runs. Reggie Jackson struck out more times than anybody in history of Major League Baseball. Why it relates to real estate is because agents are calling FSBOs, expired, cancels, probate, divorce, anyone in their database, and they're getting a lot of no's. They're striking out. What we've done is we have given you a tool, a unique selling proposition called the Home Boss Online Offers platform that allows you to get out there and get more hits, get more home runs. So I always like to spot that out. Now, real quick, I just want to talk on crypto. We have crypto is really making a good run in the real estate space. So kind of pay attention to the crypto space. Anytime somebody sends you a webinar or anything relating to crypto and how it relates to the real estate space, definitely tune in. We also have crypto masterminds, and I'll certainly send you the details should you want to know more about that, but pay attention to the crypto space. We have an iBuyer program that is the best in the business. There's Open Door, there's OfferPad, there's all these different types of cash investors. Heck, I just sold a home that went into escrow this morning where the guy has plenty of money and he's buying the home cash. So there's a lot of cash on the sidelines. But the biggest part of this iBuyer program, the sellers get paid 100% of appraised value. They get 90% up front and they get 10% at closing. What this does is allows the seller who becomes a buyer to be a non-contingent buyer. So many times we can sell their home, no problem. That's not the issue. The issue is the seller finding suitable replacement housing. This allows that seller that becomes a buyer to become a cash buyer, therefore not having a sale contingency, therefore competing at a high level. We're offering more money in our cash offers than anybody out there, but word of caution, cash always means a discount. Cash does not necessarily mean the seller is going to get the most amount of money. In many cases, it's less money and it's very expensive, so the seller's netting less. I've had 72 listing appointments and listings where the buyers thought they wanted cash and we switched them over to a better option. We switched them over to the Home Boss option. So if you don't have an iBuyer platform, you need to get it. And like I said, you may not do any cash offers, but if you do have it, you're in the conversation. You're at the table with that seller that thinks they want a cash offer. So I would recommend you do some research on that. We certainly have great training on that as well. REO, we talked a little bit about REO earlier before we got started. That business, I call it future business. It's all about positioning yourself in the REO space. Now, one quick disclosure, I don't want anyone losing their home, not at all. However, that market will rear its ugly head, and we need to be positioned and ready to go so those banks know we exist. We need to align ourselves with other REO experts in the industry, whether it be other agents, which we have some of the top REO agents on our team. So position yourself, tune into the REO space, but know that it's future business. And the reason why I bring that up is because we're going to talk about the now business. Question for you. Are you taking 2 to 3 listings each and every week? I am. Are you? You know, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about how you get 6%, because for sale by owners don't want to do one thing, and that's pay a commission. That's why they're a for sale by owner. We've created, Bob Mangold created a platform that allows us to go after the for sale by owner, expired, canceled market at a very high level. Our unique selling proposition allows us to get paid by the seller, and the buyer agent gets compensated by the buyer. So I'm going to explain that, how that works. Now, it's always been the same thing. Seller's objection has always been this: highest and best price, shortest amount of time, least amount of hassles, liability, and expense. I've never had a seller say, Robert, if you can get me the least amount of money for my home, that'd be awesome. Doesn't happen. And I've never had a seller say, if you can charge me as much commission as possible, that'd be great. That just doesn't happen. Sellers want the highest and best price in the shortest amount of time with the least amount of hassles, liability, and expense. And I'll explain that. In the past, we had 2 options. It was a cash sale or a traditional. Cash, as we talked about, always means reduced. Anyone that says, I want to pay cash, means they want a discount. Not only is it a discount, but it's expensive to get that cash convenience offer. Those take usually 10 days. If you add another 4 days, we can do the online offers platform, but the traditional sale is the MLS. Basically, agents taking the listing, put it in the MLS, schedule an open house, have random showings, and let God sort it out. Well, what we've done is we've come to a fork in the road. What you need to do is take it. Some of you will get that at the end. Now, we have 3 options. Sure, we certainly have the cash solution, as I mentioned, with the iBuyer platform. A traditional sale is, you know, highest and best, buyer remorse, just, you know, complete chaos. Because there's nothing worse than writing an offer as a buyer agent, submitting it to the listing agent. Hopefully they submit it to the seller, and then get what's called a seller's multiple counter asking for the highest and best price. That leaves a lot of anxiety on the table for the buyers. They have no idea where they need to come in at to win the offer. What we've done is we've created an online offers platform, which brings excitement and competition, higher sales prices, lower fees to the sellers. And the best thing is it only takes 14 days. Let me explain how that works. Here's the benefits of the platform. It's a simple sales process that requires no negotiating on the part of the seller. No multiple counters, no spreadsheets looking to see what's the best property, the best buyer, the best scenario. Because at the end of the day, who pays the commissions in a real estate transaction? The buyer does. So watch how we do this. The deadline creates a buyer urgency. That's a key. We have the open house Saturday and Sunday, and the buyer has until Wednesday at 7 p.m. to place their offer. Transparently, of course. It eliminates all the carrying costs because our time frame is only 14 days. And another thing is, for sale by owners in particular, they don't want a long-term contract. Every agent before has been geared to a 6-month listing. That's a long-term commitment. If you can't get your home sold in 14 days, you should be fired, especially in this market. The buyer comes in, random showings. It's completely a hassle. So what we do is we set the terms so the sellers can plan their life accordingly. Do you have pets? Do you have kids? Do you have your bed that needs to be made? I can tell you this, my wife would be completely pissed if I had my home for sale and I didn't make the bed and she knew somebody was coming over. Dishes in the sink, if it's not picked up. So what we do is we do the scheduled by appointment only Saturday and Sunday. That's when the showings are, not before, not after. With the transparent online offers platform, the seller gets true market value. An able and willing buyer is willing to pay X for their home. That's the true market value. And it's great for some seller that thinks they want a little bit more. They're a little ambitious with their sales price. So when those offers come in, they can see exactly what their home is worth. So the conversation goes a lot better. There's no hassles like random showings. I've had sellers that expireds, or the best topic is they've been inconvenienced for random showings. They've picked up their home. They've made the home look all ready to go. And then the buyer doesn't show up. It's a nightmare. It's a total hassle. We do it with our by appointment only Saturday and Sunday open house. It's definitely, it's an inconvenience to keep your home cleaned up for weeks. I remember back in the day when I was listing homes where I would tell the sellers, yeah, make sure your home's picked up every single day because we don't know when people are going to be coming in. So that's just, we've eliminated that process. And the best part, they get us, an experienced staff, to market, promote, and sell their home for the highest and best price. So here's my script. I'm going to share it with you. It's FSBO's expired, cancels, like I said, heck, anybody in your phone. Hi, my name is Robert. I'm calling about your property at 123 Main Street. Is it still available? Sometimes they'll say no. If it's expired or canceled, they'll say no because technically it's not available. So I'll say, well, did you pull it off the market? Did you plan on selling in the future? Well, yeah, our last agent didn't do anything. They did nothing except for do, a postcard, and it just never sold. So we're now interviewing new agents. I want to be at that conversation. I want to be at that kitchen table. I want to be on that Zoom call with the seller saying, listen, we've got a unique selling proposition. If the seller says, yes, it's still available. Great. If I was to bring you an offer and a price was acceptable, would you be willing to pay the standard 3% buyer's fee or finder's fee? I don't say commission because if it's a for sale by owner, they don't want to pay commission. Okay. So yes, it doesn't matter what they say. If they say yes to 3% or no, I'm not paying a dime. Great. When can we schedule a quick Zoom meeting to go over your property in more detail? We have the buyer pool and we have a few questions. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, pricing needs to be key. Typically what happens with listings and sellers, they always want to start really high and negotiate down to meet the buyer as the buyer comes low and meets them in the middle. That's called negotiating, right? Well, that's a terrible way to do it. We start our properties about 10 to 15% below market, and we drive the price up to and beyond what the seller wants. That's the way you should market a home. Now, because here, let me show you the how this works. This is kind of a guide, the science of pricing. You figure market value, you're pricing at about 60% of the folks you get. But if you price it 15% below market, you're going to get 90% of the potential buyers to look at that property. Remember, more buyers equals more offers, period. Now, let's talk about this. For the seller that says, oh, I don't want to price my property 15% below, that freaks me out. I'm afraid to do that. Well, I have the seller, when I'm on my presentation, I say, well, let me ask you a question. Which one of these homes would attract more buyers? You've got your property priced 3 different ways. One's at 6, one's at 7, one's at 800,000. Which one would attract more buyers? And I just say nothing. They always say property A. I said, that's correct. Because watch this, we have 3 strategies for pricing. You price it high, you're going to attract less buyers. That's a simple math question. You price it at market, you're going to attract more buyers. But if you price it below market, you're getting maximum buyers, and therefore you're getting a bidding war. That is how we do our properties. All our advertising and promotion, excuse me, our advertising and promotion goes to every single syndicated website on the planet. This is the kind of traffic we're driving. Can you imagine the folks in the back of that line, what they're thinking? There is no way we're getting it for that low start price. Not a chance. Look at all the folks that want the same thing I do. They've written multiple offers and they've been outbid every single time. At least with our platform, it's fully transparent. So every one of these single buyers, they all get the same chance at the home. Now, because remember, guys, when the buyers compete, sellers win. That's just the facts. So here's a couple of ways we do our open house. We do by appointment only. This one is just an example. We could only do it one day. So we did it on a Saturday. We did it from 9 in the morning to 6 p.m. every 15 minutes, 40 or so agents. But what's happening is more and more buyers are coming to the open house without their agent or with no agent. So we had an open house last weekend. We only had 7 agents register, but we had 83 groups through the door. So what's happening is the shift is these buyers are circumventing their buyer agents and going to see the property and meeting the listing agent. So pay attention to that. Here's our marketing. Now, we don't really promote zero seller commissions as much, but we can certainly do it. I like to have the seller pay me 3 and the buyer pay the 3 to the buyer agent. That's ideal, but we can certainly take a 0% listing. Let me show you what I'm talking about. We've got a seller over here at 4036 Camino Calma. We called her up. Hi, this is Robert with EXP. I'm calling about your property at 4036 Camino Calma. Is it still available? She says, yes, it is. I said, great. If I was to bring you an offer, the price was acceptable, are you willing to pay the standard 3% buyer's fee? She goes, no, I'm not paying anyone anything, no commissions to no agents. And a matter of fact, I don't want to pay for a home warranty. I go, great. When can we schedule a quick Zoom meeting so we can go over your property in more detail? She's like, well, how are you getting paid? I said, do you mind if the buyer pays us? Nope, she doesn't care as long as it's not her. We got 17 offers. She wanted 635, which I thought was a little high at the time. We got her 661. And if you notice that 39,660 represents 6% for a total purchase price of 700,660. Here's how it works. All the offers are fully transparent. You can see all the offers as they come in. So you can see we had a little bit of a bidding war at the end, right? Driving it up to and beyond what the seller's goal price was. Here's how it works. It's fully disclosed. Agent compensation, 6%. Because who pays the commissions in a real estate transaction? The buyer does when they write their offer. This seller did not pay any commissions. She got her price and more, and she didn't have to pay a home warranty. Here's another property. This one's fantastic. This property was over at 5928 Riley Street. We had 36 offers. This seller wanted 675. We got her 780. Now watch how we did it. Look at this, fully transparent. This seller was just so hell-bent on getting 675. That was her number. And she was actually right. When I ran the comps, she was right on. However, we got her more than that. She calls me up once we get to 675, says, Robert, let's go to escrow. And I said, Sheila, we still have a couple of hours. Let the buyers compete against each other. Let's drive that price to where the buyers are willing to take it. So I said, have a glass of Chardonnay. She tuned it in on her big screen TV and she watched the bidding go on. It was fantastic. As you can see, it's fully transparent. Then she called me back when it got to 700. She's like, oh my God, 700, let's take it. We still got a little bit more time. Let the buyers take it to where this property will go. We ended up getting her 780,000. As you can see, it was a full-on transparent bidding war. The buyer, now this seller said she was willing to pay 2%. So the buyer paid 4% to total 6%. 3% to the listing agent, 3% to the buyer agent. I find that you offer more commissions to the buyer agents, you're going to get more buyer agents to your open house and ultimately paying as much money as we can possibly can. So remember, when you're driving that much kind of that traffic, I mean, look at that. That's an amazing photo of the kind of interest we're driving for our properties. Because guys, remember, when they compete, the seller always wins. Here's how it's easy to get started. I have the Zoom call, and sometimes I'll go to the property, not very often. I'll have the listing agreement signed, goes in. I always go live in the MLS on Thursday. So if I was to take a listing today, I would more than likely get it active in the MLS and on the site today. But if it's over Saturday, Sunday, or Monday, Tuesday, I always like to go in the MLS Thursday because that's the highest traffic day for the MLS. The marketing begins that following week. We just blast all the marketing out, filling up that buyer pool for the open house. The open house is the following weekend. Saturday and Sunday are the best. Offers begin after the open house. Everybody gets the fair chance to see the home, and no one can place an offer on our site until after every single buyer has been through that open house. I don't want any sight unseen offers because those never really work out. Anyone that wants to place an offer has to have a proof of funds, pre-approval, and it has to be done after the open house. All offers are due Wednesday at 7 p.m. So buyers have a chance Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday until 7 o'clock to place their offers. They can place as many offers as they like. If they get outbid, go outbid them and let it keep on going, because a lot of agents think that they only can place one offer and they kind of wait. Not the case. If you get outbid, go place another one. The seller has the right to accept, counter reject any offer. Make that clear. And that's traditional real estate. The seller accepts the best offer. Just like in traditional real estate, what we're doing is we're driving the highest and best sales price. Remember, these buyers are fully vetted, pre-approval, proof of funds, and we're asking them questions about the buyer. Do they have contingencies? Do they have a home to sell? Are they waiving the appraisal? We ask them all those pointed questions so we know exactly what our offer should look like. We open up escrow and we get it closed. It's that simple. Now, here's the success roadmap, kind of give you an idea. First thing we do is we get the marketing agreement signed. We establish the price. Price is key. If you got a seller that's completely out of their mind on terms of what their goal is, that's the first thing you really want to work with. You want to figure that price out. Then we'll start scheduling the open house. And actually, that's my close. When's the good day for you to do the 1 or 2 day open house? Okay, then we go to the online offers. We accept, counter reject multiple offers. We get an offer accepted. We open up escrow and then we close. It's that simple. Okay, so let's think about this in kind of a summary. The world's finest art, classic cars, yachts, antiques are sold using these types of offer platforms. So why not the home? So in my opinion, this is the best way to do it. There's a simple script. I can train, coach, and mentor you on this. And it's a fabulous listing tool. It's a fabulous way to build your team. And I'll tell you what, guys, there's lots of different ways you can work with us. But you have to ask yourself this. If I could take 5 more listings that I normally would not be able to take. For instance, say you're having some family over for Thanksgiving. There's always that uncle that says, Robert, you're in real estate, but can you give me a discount? Sure. What's that look like? Well, instead of listing at 6% like most sellers, most listings, can you do 5 or can you do 4? Sure, certainly can. Does that make sense? So you can take those listings that you neglected before. But if you can take 5, 10, 15, 20 plus listings this calendar year, what would that do to your business? Really think about it. Take your average sales price times 3% times however many transactions. That is what's possible. So if we can help you grow your business, reach out to me. Text Robert to 76626. So do a new text, pull out your phone, do a new text, type 76626, and in the message, type in Robert and hit send. And I'll be more than happy to set up a one-on-one appointment with you. With that said, if you use our proprietary marketing program where we drive all the marketing, all the exposure, you have total control of when the home is shown, negotiate on your behalf, handle the entire transaction, and we get you top dollar, and we sell in 14 days or less. This is a great platform for you. So anyway, I thank you for your time and have a great day.